Well, just when you thought the Messi spot, aka the top right hand corner of these charts, would no longer be there because Messi is gone, a new player has taken over the spot. The following chart looks at through passes per 90, then compares it to assists per 90. So a player on the top left like Olmo provides a ton of through balls but doesn't get a ton of assists. This indicates that he's providing a lot of key passes, creating a lot of chances, but isn't necessarily providing the final pass before the ball is put in the back of the net. On the opposite end, if a player is all the way to the right like Saka, it means he gets a lot of assists, but he doesn't play a ton of through balls. The explanation for Saka is very easy. The majority of his assists come from set pieces. That's what happens when you play the haram football of Mikel Arteta. It's just the reality. This graph is actually really nice because it visually shows you that not all assists are equal. I mean, don't get it wrong, putting a corner in the right spot every single time is difficult. Not everyone can do it. But there should be more recognition for players who create chances and get assists from open play. And that's exactly what the players in the top right do. So in the Messi corner, that's what I'm going to call it from now on, is Lamine Yamal. So Yamal not only gets a ton of assists, but he plays a ton of through balls. It's not a surprise that he leads La Liga in assists and is at the top for chances created. It matches the eye test. The teenager is having a really good season. Then below him is a player who's having an even better season, Mohamed Salah. Now he isn't providing as many through balls as Yamal. Salah is more direct, but he's racking up a similar number of assists. Not gonna lie to you guys, seeing Jacob Murphy there was surprising, but he has been racking up assists for Newcastle. My guess is he's more on the right because the majority of his assists come from open play crosses rather than actual through balls. Him and Isak have a really nice connection. Couple of other players to look at on this chart is KDB and Iago Aspas. They seemingly create a lot, but the players on the other end aren't converting their chances. And then on the bottom left, we have the shoot and inshallah guys. They don't play through balls, they don't provide assists, they just try and score. Hence why you see Rashford, Brennan Johnson, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Noni Madueke, and so on. This is chart number 2, and even in the MLS, Messi continues to dominate any footballing chart that you see. This chart right here shows goals per 90 and through balls per 90 for all the players in the MLS. Of course, naturally, you have everyone in the group in the bottom left, and then you have the alien that is Messi. He is at the top for both goals and creating chances in the MLS. Now, it wasn't a surprise when the Argentinian Goblin was dominating both of these categories in Europe, but to see a 37-year-old Messi still be such an outlier is hilarious. Even though he's been riddled with injuries, he has still put on some fantastic performances for Inter Miami. He got 23 goals and 13 assists in all competitions in the 2023-2024 season. After having some muscular problems, Messi came back and went on a crazy run. Goal against Colorado, goal against Kansas City, 2 goals and an assist against Nashville, 2 goals and 1 assist against New England, and then 1 goal and a whopping 5 assists against the Big Apple. Messi confirming that he absolutely hates New York. This is chart number 3. Now everyone knows how good of a dribbler Hazard is, twerking his little butt around while destroying defenders. But this chart makes it look even more impressive. Just in case you weren't paying attention, this chart right here shows the most dribbles completed in a single World Cup game since 1966, recorded by Opta Data. The twerk monster Hazard is on this list twice, with both games coming in the same tournament, World Cup 2018. He completed 10 successful dribbles against France and against Brazil, 2 massive nations when it comes to international football. France, of course, was the best team in that tournament as they went on to become world champions. While Hazard, he danced past the French players like they weren't even there. I love this chart because it's a great way of statistically showing just how good the Belgian was in that tournament. Against France, Hazard completed 91% of his dribbles, and against Brazil, 100%. Against Brazil, he was truly unplayable. Nobody could get near him. Only other player on this list from the 21st century is Lionel Messi. Messi is also there twice. The first time being his 11 dribbles completed against Mexico in the 2010 World Cup. Back when Messi was absolutely rapid and just ran at teams at every opportunity. Long hair Messi. The second time Messi is there is due to his performance against the Netherlands in the 2014 World Cup. 10 dribbles completed again, but at a higher efficiency of 71%. Not gonna lie, it's kinda crazy not seeing Neymar here at all. Messi and Hazard, 2 unbelievable dribblers, the best in their generation, but at the top of the chart, is JJ Okocha. The Nigerian beast completed 15 dribbles versus Italy in the 1994 World Cup. Also, a quick shout out to Diego Maradona, who is also there twice. This is chart number 4. It looks at expected goals per 90 versus goals per 90 for all the teams in La Liga. Now, we all know that Barcelona have looked drastically different under Hansi Flick, but this chart from Data MB really reflects Barcelona's dominance on the attacking end compared to all the other teams in La Liga. Barca find themselves in the 99th percentile for pressing, 98th percentile for counters, 97th percentile for goals, 94th percentile for attacking, and in the 92nd percentile for possession. Like I said, it's a great way of statistically showing how good Barca have been attacking wise. Realistically, all of their drop points have come from a lack of clinical finishing, not a lack of chances. When they put the ball into the back of the net, they destroy teams like what they did in 2 separate El Clasicos. But when they can't score, they get results like what happened against Atletico and Getafe. Chart number 5 right here was made by Twitter user Gasipo Opinion, so shout out to him. It looks at shot creating dribbles per 90 versus successful dribbles per 90. So as you can see on the chart right there, a shot creating dribble is defined as a successful dribble that leads to a shot attempt in the next 2 actions. An action being a pass, a dribble, a shot, or a foul drawn. So the red zone, as Gasipo very nicely marked out for us, are the players who just dribble for the sake of dribbling. They are very good at getting by their man, but their next action doesn't lead to any shot attempts. Now, Sancho being there kind of surprised me because when I watch him, I feel like a lot of the times the person he passes to shoots, but the data suggests that he's just dribbling to dribble. Yellow zone is just for Doku because his successful dribbles per 90 is crazy, like way higher than everyone else. But sadly, a lot of his dribbles don't lead to a direct shot creation. This stat is definitely backed by the eye test. He is a super fun player to watch, but many of his dribbles are just him going back and forth embarrassing the defender with his body feints. The guys in blue are very direct. They immediately create some sort of an opportunity after a dribble. Luis Diaz and Lookman are 2 guys that I have watched regularly, and the numbers match the eye test. Both players are very direct. They immediately try and shoot as soon as they create some space or put in a cross. They both also get constantly fouled. Rafael Leao and Musiala being there makes sense too. 2 players that are fantastic at beating their man. They're the type of players that can create something out of nothing. Neres is up there probably because he has been doing so well for Napoli. I guess that's part of the reason they were willing to let Kvara go. Giddens being there is probably the most impressive because not only is he beating his man consistently, not only are his dribbles leading directly to chances, but he's doing it on one of the worst Dortmund teams we have ever seen. Like genuinely, these guys are not good this year. They're stuck in mid-table in the Bundesliga. Then in the green, you have the balanced dribblers. And these guys are, well, just look at the names. Some of the most elite players in the world. Every single player in that green bubble is a joy to watch. City now have 2 players from that group in both Savinho and Marmoush. I'm telling you guys, once Savinho adds more goals and assists to his name, it's a wrap. Because 1v1, this guy is too deadly. Yamal and Vinny being there isn't a surprise. 2 of the very best players in the world. Both lethal in 1v1 situations, both can create, both can score. It's nice to see Cherki there because this guy is super talented, but honestly being wasted at Lyon. Given their financial situation, I imagine this guy will get a move soon, but what a player. The fact that guys like him, Kudos, and Conceição are there is really impressive because these guys don't play in very attacking teams. Kudos has pretty much been the sole creator on West Ham. Things might change now under Potter, but under Lopetegui, it was Kudos carrying. Meanwhile, Conceição plays for Mota's Juventus, who are apparently allergic to any result besides a 0-0 draw. Chart number 6 is the last chart I want to show you guys. This chart shows the points per game of newly promoted teams in the Premier League have dropped substantially recently. Before, outside of Derby County's famous 11 points, most newly promoted teams did okay for themselves. By the way, playing against Derby County, it was like playing squad battles on amateur. But it seems like recently, the same teams that are promoted end up being the same ones relegated. Now there's different ways to look at this. Are the newly promoted teams worse? Maybe the Premier League as a whole is getting better. After all, look at Forest, who went from barely surviving relegation to being at the top of the table. It could also be due to a bigger financial gap happening between the top clubs, the mid-tier clubs, and newly promoted clubs. Or maybe it's just an outlier due to a few years of bad data. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll love this video right here as well. Check it out.